What do Roman toilets have to do with helping us understand the Bible? Well, first of all, it's quite an impressive thing that 2,000 years ago the Romans had figured out sanitation as well as they had. This is me sitting on in a Roman bathhouse in Israel. This is a picture of without the people. The Romans had constructed it in such a way that there was flowing water underneath to help carry away the waste. And there's a trench in front of the toilets that often had running water or salt water or a mixture of vinegar and water for the purpose of helping the people to clean themselves after use. Well, they didn't have toilet paper. Toilet paper wasn't invented until like the 1800s. And so at this time, they used what was called a tersorium or an azylospongium. This was taking a sponge from the Mediterranean Sea, putting it on the end of a stick, and they would dip it into typically a solution of vinegar and water to help to sanitize it after each use. But they would then leave it as a community use, and the next person to come along would use the same brush, and this is how they clean themselves after using the facilities. Again, then dipping it back into the vinegar solution for sanitizing the brush and rinsing the brush. So how does this help us understand the Bible? In John chapter 19, it tells us that Jesus, while he was being crucified, knowing that all things had already been accomplished to fulfill the scripture, he says, "I am thirsty." A jar full of vinegar was standing there, and so they put a sponge full of vinegar upon a branch of hyssop, and they brought it up to his mouth. Therefore, when Jesus had received the vinegar, he said, "It is finished," and bowed his head and gave up his spirit. Roman crucifixion remains one of the most brutal forms of execution in history. When Jesus said, "I am thirsty," he was not met with a sympathetic Roman soldier who was offering relief. He was met with unspeakable ridicule and mockery. As a filthy toilet brush that was being used by the Roman guards on duty was soaked in excrement and vinegar-filled jar and brought to the lips of the Messiah.
First and foremost, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakaha, Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, the GMS who I learned from. Shalom to the hopeful elect, preaching his word in truth and sincerity. To you, Rib, to your sisters out there, learning silence and staying in order, I say to all y'all, Shalom. Right, as we read in the video, this is the instrument or tool that they used after using these toilets here. Right, they will all share this sponge on a stick, which is pretty nasty, right? It's called a Siloxspongium or tersorium, also known as sponge on a stick, was a utensil found in ancient Roman latrines, consisting of a wooden stick with a sea sponge fixed at one end. Says academics disagree as to its exact use, about which the priority source are vague. It has traditionally been assumed to be a type of shared anal wiping utensil used after defecating, and the sponge cleaned in vinegar or water, sometimes salt water. Other recent research suggests it was mostly like a toilet brush. Man, no matter what, they say it is or was, we know that this thing belongs on toilets, right? Whether people wiping the toilet or, cleaning themselves off, this was used and then fed to, the Messiah, man, which just makes it worse. You know what I mean? Like, just the thought of it, how grotesque and nasty, and like how much hatred they had. How lowly they thought of Yahweh Shai, man. And I think that it just makes it that much easier for the Lord to come back and just, execute vengeance, man. The Lord's coming back, man, to pay back the things that were done, man. When they gave that to him, he said it was finished, man. Man, just the thought of it is wild, man. This is in Revelation chapter 1, verse 7. It says, "Behold, he cometh with clouds," right? Because he's not going to meet everybody as a man, right? It says, "And every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him," right? Those people that gave him that vinegar on a stick, right? When he asked for water, right? After being in captivity for a little bit of time, waiting for the courts to basically sentence him to death. He was thirsty, walking up that hill with the cross, and he just wanted something to drink. They gave him that, man. It's wild. It says, "And they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, amen." Right? Let's see here. Right, this is the New King James Version. "Behold, he is coming with clouds, and every eye will see him, even they who pierced him, and all the tribes of the earth will mourn because of him." Right? Even the 2/3 that, did not take heed to the word, right, that was given, the gospel was preached, man, and they would not receive it. They also gotta pay, man. Right? This is 1 Peter 4:17. "For the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai. And if it first begins at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai?" Right? And these are the Sadducees and Pharisees. They're here today, right? Parading as angels of light as well, right? Thinking that they're casting out devils in the name of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, but perverting the gospel and perverting the word, taking away from the word, things of that nature, right? Those people gotta pay for it too, right? Because you gotta believe in the whole gospel, the whole doctrine, the whole roll. You gotta eat the whole roll. A lot of people got issues with that, right? This is the account of the actual crucifixion, right? When they made it to the top, it says Matthew 27:27. "Then the soldiers of the governor took Yahushua into the common hall and gathered onto him the whole band of soldiers, and they stripped him and put on him scarlet robe." Right? So, they took all his clothing. He's naked now, and they put a red garment on, which symbolizes power, right, and rulership, right, just to mock him. It says, verse 29, and when they had platted a crown of thorns, they put it upon his head, and reed in his right hand, and they bowed the knee before him and mocked him, saying, "Hail, King of Jews, King of the Jews." Right, verse 30, and they spit upon him and took the reed and smote him on the head.